World War II was objectively the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. The biggest bloodbath, the biggest mass slaughter campaign in human history. There's nothing comes close to it. The numbers just are, they're impossible to comprehend. And if you just start with that basic fact, that this was the worst thing that ever happened, I think that will allow you to it kind of gives you permission to view things in a slightly different light. Because when you recognize that this was the worst thing that ever happened, then you also have to recognize that, like, oh, so it's kind of a failure across the board. Like, all the leadership is somewhat responsible for this. Because, I mean, if the worst thing in the world happens, I suppose theoretically you could say the worst thing in the world just happened to us and we had absolutely no choice. But at the very least, it wasn't great leadership if you led into the worst thing in the history of the world. And it kind of transfers the onus on you to say, okay, even if the other side is worse, if the worst thing in the history of the world happens, the onus is now on you to be like, was there any avoiding it? Was there ever a chance to not go down this path?